Welcome back to Hold My Bev podcast. I'm your host, Brandon Park. Here in a new setting today, finally. That's what's been part of the big delay lately. Finally got internet here and for the most part situated. Still a little bit of moving to do, but I'm here with my wonderful co-host, the one, the only, the beautiful, long-haired DTF, Dylan.
Yes. Since the last episode, my hair has grown out tremendously. We are doing it, doing the Max Homa challenge.
I
First
thought
and
you said it was
foremost,
because of Gabby for other reasons.
yeah. First and foremost, we've got lots to talk about. Since our last episode, we had the NBA draft. We have summer league starting. We've got off-season free agency for the NFL. We've got the Guardians first round pick tonight from the MLB draft. Um, ESPN with a bunch of firings. There's been a lot that's been going on. So let's just jump right into it. So the Cleveland Guardians actually drafted a catcher round 123, round one pick 23. Ralphie Velasquez Velasquez from Huntington Beach High School. They are looking for a catcher that can hit.
Yeah, it looks like he plays catcher and first base, which is pretty common.
Mm-hmm.
But it's obvious that's their main focus. Even though I think Naylor's going to be nice, maybe he'll be a different position one day.
What do you think about what they're doing then? I mean, it was all this talk about bringing Bo Naylor up. So do they already not have faith?
No, I think they do. I just feel like there's so many different positions that he could play because it's not like he's a non-athletic dude, so he could play pretty much anywhere. Even if you put him at DH. And
Yeah.
who knows, Ralphie could be first base. Catcher and first base are both the positions we need the most. Because Josh Bell, he's been playing a lot better, but he's just not that guy for us right now. I don't really like that we are paying him 16 million.
All right. Going into the All-Star break, Ohio baseball is at its best right now. The Guardians and Reds are at the top of their division, and they're both going into the All-Star break at the top, which is very scary. With the Guardians having a 45-45 record.
Yeah, yeah, that our division's so bad this year.
Yeah.
But
But no,
all that matters is we get in the postseason.
yep. Nobody's doing better than the Rays and the Braves, and the Reds look pretty good this year out of nowhere.
And
Pirates look,
we broke the Braves win streak.
yes. Yep, but then they kicked their ass the next day.
Yeah.
I remember we turned it on, we were golfing, and it said, and at the bottom of the first inning, the Braves lead by 4-0. Oh, all right. But um that's all I got for baseball, really. I went to the game last week on the first game of the Braves series. That was a fun game. We lost though. Just couldn't stop their hitting. You had one guy hitting 2 home runs. The Braves are just too hard to beat right now. I'd like to see a Braves Rays World Series. It would just like be really fun. I don't think the way the playoff picture right now shows us playing the Astros, and I think that the Rays would have the first round bye, but then it's the Baltimore Orioles versus um who was it? It was there Toronto, I think.
Toronto Blue Jays, yeah.
Yeah, so it was like the AL East is all playing each other on that side, and then our side is us versus Houston, and then the winner plays Texas. So I don't know if I really like any of these teams to go to the World Series except for the Rays. I think it would be kind of a clean wash to the straight to the top.
Yeah.
Um, the NL, I could see the Braves going back, um, but I'm not too familiar with a lot of the other teams enough to say who I think will be out there.
It's not the Mets, that's for damn sure.
No, no, it is not.
I just couldn't imagine being a fan of a a sports team that spent so much money on a team just sucks so bad.
Yeah.
It's not
Well,
like they
just so
don't
we
have the
know.
names either. They can't win.
Yeah. Well, at least we know Cleveland will never do that.
Yeah, they won't spend money. At least there will be a good reason why we don't win.
Yeah. Yep. I was driving our Cushman on Saturday, and I was driving behind two fellas that were walking towards the clubhouse, and it
Hmm.
was Bo and Josh Naylor walking in together. I wonder if they live together while they're both playing here.
That's a good question.
Just a random little side note. I just was going down the hallway, and they wouldn't move. They just kept walking slow down the middle of the aisle, and I'm thinking, like, are you that unaware, or do you just not care?
I also
But
found out that they're Canadian too. I did not know that.
yes, and
They
their brother.
actually just made a famous, or not famous, but like a record stat. I want to say it was the first set of Canadian brothers. I want to say it was, or the third set of Canadian brothers since 1900.
Oh
Um,
wow.
get 3 hits.
Hmm. Well, they got another brother who is supposed to get drafted tonight. So everybody's obviously claiming, well, look out for the Guardians to pick up the third and final Naylor brother.
I mean, it would make sense. But yeah, I'm curious to see what the Guardians do if they're gonna, choke or what they're gonna do.
I don't know. This is usually around the time of year we get hot, August and September.
That is true. That is true. And we're honestly just lucky that everyone else in our division, like the really only the Twins was the only ones I was worried about.
Mm-hmm.
That they're not really doing too good right now. Because if they were
Yeah.
doing good still, we'd be screwed.
Oh yeah. So I finally think I have an update on the Hard Knocks situation. It's not been officially announced by the NFL's Twitter page, but I think that the New York Jets are going to be named the training camp team followed for the NFL Hard Knocks season.
Do you think
Which,
it's gonna force it on them?
yes, they were the first team to come out and say that they wanted no part of it, and I'm pretty sure the NFL fired back and was like, "No, you're going to do it."
Wow.
Which will be fun because they have the Hall of Fame game against the Cleveland Browns, which we'll be at. I did get the tickets.
Hmm.
I got 4 of them, so we're going.
Yeah, I'll actually be at the Football Hall of Fame this Friday for work.
That's right.
Hmm. Yeah, they have a tech expo out there, so I'll be out there. That's gonna be fun. Hoping to meet
Yeah.
Mr. Bernie if he's there.
Might.
Never met number 19.
I didn't personally meet him, but I was in the same room as him a couple years ago for the draft when it was in Cleveland because we had a merch stand that was at the Agora, I think. They were doing like a Browns draft party for all the players, and like somehow they wanted the pro shop to be there. So we had a stand set up, and Bernie was in the same room as us for a while, but no real communication.
Hmm. Like, so you were like really close to him then.
Yeah, I mean, like from me to my poster, I mean, it was just like right next to me, but I was just working the stand.
Dude, that reminds me of a completely different sport. We're gonna go back to baseball, but that just reminded me of a story during All-Star weekend when I went downstairs when I was going to my store at the time. Um, I just was walking to my store with my clipboard, and the next thing I know, walking right next or right past me is Mike Trout, and I like had to stop dead in my tracks. I'm like, did that just happen? Did I just like damn near brush shoulders with Mike Trout?
I've only seen him once down there, and he was on his way to the batting cages, but it was like I just saw him walking by. I saw Pujols once too. Um,
I would have loved to see Pujols.
the coolest thing I've experienced down there, well, two things. One of the coolest things from All Star Weekend was I was walking back to the DC after the home run derby, and they were interviewing Pete Alonso downstairs, and he had his chain around his neck and he was holding the trophy. And I was walking directly behind Lindor, and Lindor was walking through the crowd trying to get to Alonso to dap him up. So I had to kind of like scoot around Frankie so that I could keep going, but he was like stopping traffic so that he could, dap up Pete Alonso. Um, but then that same year or the year before, it might have been during the postseason when we played the Yankees. I think that was 18. I think it was 18. But I walked past and said what's up to Aaron Judge, and that man was just a massive unit.
Oh yeah, he's like what, 6'7", 6'8"?
6'8", I think 6'8", yeah.
Yeah, that dude is an absolute unit. You're right. Um, Speaking about that All-Star weekend, just going back on memories, I also talked to Anthony Mackie 3 different times that whole weekend. Um, all three of them the same day. He came into my store with his little kids and was like asking to try on stuff and just, he was just talking to me, acting like a complete like just normal person. It took me a minute to like really know if it was him or not because I didn't want to just jump the gun. I just treat him like a normal customer as I would. Um, and I'm like, dude, he looks so familiar. Not
Mm-hmm.
realizing that he just played in the celebrity game.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't until I can't say the whole story because I'd probably get in trouble, but it wasn't until I had to run his credit card that I knew 1,000% that it was him.
Yep.
And when I handed him his bag, I said, "Enjoy the game, Cap." And he just laughed and smiled at me. He came back up and talked to me again after that too.
That's sick.
Hmm.
For those
Yeah.
of you who don't know, Anthony Mackie is now Captain America.
Yes, that's what that reference was. And then I had
Brave
Drew.
World Order. Brave New Order. What's the new movie? Brave New Order? I don't know, but the new Captain America comes out next spring.
Yes. And I also that same day had Drew Carey come up by my stand. He was going
Wow.
to his part of his section for his club.
Very
And
cool.
I remember Alex Hale, former guest on our show, called me crazy for not knowing who that was at the time. Because he's like, Drew Carey just walked by your stand. I'm like, I didn't see him. I don't even know what he looks like. He's like, you don't know Drew Carey?
When I was younger, before I knew who he was, anytime somebody would say Drew Carey, I thought they meant Jim Carrey.
Yeah, I
So
think
then
same here.
I'd always be like, the guy from The Mask?
Guy from The Mask. You mean
Ace
the
Ventura?
you mean the Grinch?
Max.
Max.
Gotta love it. Um, so amongst all the stuff that we have to talk about, I wanted to pick your brain on Andy Dalton thinking he's still a starter in this league and better than 31 other quarterbacks.
Mm, okay. I think he can be a starter. He's not your franchise guy, though. He's your, okay, we need a rebuild year, but we need someone that's solid enough to get through.
I think he's a bridge quarterback like Jacoby
Yes.
Brissett.
100%. That's 100% who he is. He's good enough that if you had a solid team, you can do decent, but he's not going to take you to a Super Bowl.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, there's a good chance that he actually plays well considering what the Panthers are going to do this year. I mean, it,
He's gonna be playing like Jacoby. Just gonna be playing for, he wants to win. He wants to play winning football.
Jacoby signed with the Commanders, right?
Yes.
See, there's a solid chance the Commanders do real well with Jacoby Brissett. I know they want Sam Howell as a
I
QB.
I was gonna say I want Sam Howell as
I
a
know. I know you do too.
mm,
But there's a good chance they start the season with Jacoby Brissett. But they say, Sam Howell is their guy. So I understand. I mean, he might go down with an injury and then Jacoby takes him to the playoffs. somehow, some way. I still think that AFC, or I'm sorry, the NFC East is stacked, and you're gonna have the Giants and the Eagles at top, and then I mean the Cowboys and Commanders, they could be seriously fighting for a third playoff spot. We almost got all four in the playoffs last year, so it could happen again.
Yeah. I think the Cowboys are beyond overrated. Same with the Giants. I think the Giants, they kind of overperformed last year, and they beat the Vikings, but
Yeah.
let's be honest, the Vikings have Kirk Cousins.
Yes, they do.
He's mediocre. He'll play so good in the regular season, and then when it comes to postseason or prime time, it's just straight
Yeah.
down. And I don't understand why. It could just be a coincidence that those things happen on prime time, but it's happened so many times I really don't know.
Yeah, the Vikings will be another one of those wild card teams this year. Along with the Chargers, coming off of that huge loss to the Jaguars, they just added that Quentin Johnson pick from TCU, and he was just named wide receiver 3 over Jordan Palmer. I guess he's been outperforming him in the training camp. So he'll be, walking and getting some, good reps going into the preseason and into the regular season. Do you think that that's one of the best wide receiver rooms in the league between Mike Williams, Quentin Johnson, and who's the third?
Mike Williams.
No, the third.
Oh, Keenan Allen.
Keenan Allen. Yeah. Do you think that's one of the best wide receiver rooms in the league?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, I do. I think they're at minimum top five. I
Yeah, I
mean,
think I
Quentin
think having
Johnson
Herbert.
by the end of the year could be the wide receiver one over Keenan Allen. For all I
Yeah,
know, Keenan Allen could get hurt again.
yeah.
Mike Williams.
Jordan Palmer was still good, so
Jordan
like
Palmer, yeah, Jordan
having him on the
Palmer.
roster.
Yeah, he's gonna get some reps if they don't trade him. I think they'd
If
be
the
stupid unless they get something they absolutely need, then go for
Yeah.
it.
Do you think if the Browns take DeAndre Hopkins, we'd be the best or one of the best wide receiver rooms?
Not the best, but we would. Oh, that's tough.
I still think the Dolphins have the best wide receiver room. Like I think that's
Yeah,
no question.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. You
Those
know,
are two wide receiver ones.
I actually got in an argument with when I was on Phil Taylor and Grant's show. We actually had this argument. Would you rather have Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle or AJ Brown and Devontae Smith? And I said Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill, but they both of them actually made fantastic points.
Huh.
It just depends on what kind who's throwing the ball.
Yeah. I mean, you're getting literally both Alabama quarterbacks from that same team.
Yeah, it just depends on who's throwing the ball though, or what kind of scheme you want. Like who's coaching? Are you taking just that Eagles team, or are you
Yeah.
just that Dolphins team? Like, the thing is, and that this is what I said on the show is I've always been about speed. I was a track guy growing up, um, and I've just always have taken speed over physicality. Um, by far, AJ Brown's the more physical receiver, and I would take him in a jump ball over any of them, any of them. Um, and don't get me wrong, I love a good physical receiver. Um, but I just don't see how you guard Tyreek Hill. You just can't.
No.
You
Cheated
can't
too
without
fast.
you can't in the NFL without taking too many players off the coverage because someone's going to be open.
Yep. You've got to double cover him.
Mm-hmm. And Devontae Smith, he's just so much of a playmaker. He runs routes so good, but he's so shifty too. For
Yeah.
being as skinny as he is, like I wondered if he would pan out, and he did.
He sure did. Switching gears, do you think that a team should sign Colin Kaepernick?
No.
You think he's beyond his prime, working out 5 to 7 days a week still?
Yes. He hasn't taken an NFL snap, not even a preseason snap in what, 6, 7 years now?
He still thinks he can play.
Well, maybe he should try the CFL first. Have him
Yeah.
go on a showdown with Dustin.
Why don't you think he has gone out for the USFL, XFL, or CFL?
Because he's a diva.
I think he's one of those players who are NFL or nothing.
Yeah, and I don't blame him. He did enough in the NFL, and I guess he views it as a slap in the face. And hey, I mean, I don't blame him.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but if he wants to play football that bad and maybe work his way into the NFL, I mean, scouts are going to need to see at this point more than just you throwing on a field, because you could throw Dan Marino out on the field and he can still throw a good ball. Same with
Yeah.
Brett Favre, Michael Vick, like shit, even RG3. Actually, Michael Vick and RG3 are playing in some weird league. I don't remember what the name of it was, but I was listening to Tyreek Hill's podcast,
Yep.
and he was talking about how they both are playing in this league right now and how good RG3 still looks. And how good Michael Vick still looks. I mean, he's well over 40 now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Deshaun Watson looked good throwing a ball, but then the minute he stepped on the field, that Houston Texans game was scary.
Yeah, I mean, that's with anything. But now he at least has reps underneath himself, and I feel pretty confident, honestly.
Dude, this offseason, I've been laughing my ass off because just yesterday I read it was like Joe Burrow out at a white party smoking cigars. No, it was drinking. It was Kenny Pickett at some club smoking a cigar, and then it was like Deshaun Watson putting in work with the boys.
Oh,
And somebody quote tweeted and was like, "That's because he's banned from those places."
oh my God. Yeah, that was I want to say it's the Hamptons party or something like that,
Yeah,
where they all dress in white.
just very, very rich.
Yes, very, very rich people.
It's almost kind of creepy though. Like it was literally everybody and anybody under the sun that was like a somebody. And it
Yeah,
just makes you wonder if it's just like,
some big Ponzi scheme.
ah, it's the Illuminati.
It could be.
I think they're all a part of the Illuminati. I
So you
definitely
think
think
Joe
James
Burrow's a part
Corden,
of the Illuminati?
huh?
You think Joe Burrow's a part of the Illuminati?
Mm, that's where it gets fishy because it's like you hope that he's not, but you never know. I mean, what you do for success.
Yeah,
Um,
precisely.
yeah. But just some of the people there, I was like Jay-Z, Kim Kardashian, James Corden, Kevin Hart. Like James Corden, I know he's an asshole, but you just wonder, he's got those like talk show hosts. I know like Jimmy Fallon, he's had Jim Carrey, ironically enough, on, and he's done like one of these like he does Illuminati, like he's like, oh come on, you know what I'm talking about, and it's just like whoa. But Ellen DeGeneres, I don't know if she was there, but I think she's like reported to be in the Illuminati and anybody who controls the media, anybody who's got a talk show host.
I mean, it makes sense. That would make absolute sense to have
Oprah
them part
Winfrey,
of the Illuminati. I mean, they're
Oprah
the ones
Winfrey,
that get the word out. So
yeah. Tom
if they're a
Hanks is
part of it, of
reported.
course, they're not going to say anything.
Mm-hmm. Yep, but this is a sports show, so
Yeah.
I'll
Enough
try
with
to
conspiracy theories.
keep it off. What did you think of that Team USA announcement?
Um, I don't think that team would win an NBA Finals.
I don't know that we're gonna win a FIBA championship.
No. I think we'll still be competitive because I mean, I like that they went young to an extent, but realistically, who wants to watch those guys?
There's just nothing like the Redeem team. Like
Like,
I
not,
know
not, not even a Jason Tatum, even if we just had like a Jason Tatum or someone like that.
yeah,
But our best player, I'm trying to think of the roster off the top of my head. I think the best player on the team's probably Halliburton.
Halliburton, Anthony Edwards.
Anthony
Um,
Edwards, maybe. I mean, I could see an argument for either one.
yeah,
I
I don't even know
don't
who's
know who
actually.
else I would rather have. I mean, let me look up this roster real quick. Team USA.
Cavs won again.
I saw that today. Yeah, they beat
The Raptors.
yes.
Grady Dick had 11 points.
Oh,
Amani Bates.
yeah, here's the roster right here. Yeah, our best players are Brandon Ingram and Jaren Jackson Jr. And then Anthony Edwards and Tyrese Halliburton.
Yeah.
And we got Mikal Bridges though. Brunson. We basically got all of Villanova on here.
Yep.
Got Josh Hart, Austin Reeves, AR-15, Paolo Banchero, Cam Johnson, Walker Kessler, and out of absolutely nowhere, Bobby Portis. Such an out of left field thing. But honestly, I don't get why players don't do it more often, why they're so against doing like the FIBA. I know ever since Paul George got hurt, players have not wanted to do it whatsoever.
Yep.
But honestly, I feel like every time that they've done the FIBA Cup, like they've had great seasons going on to the next season. I can't think of personally, I can't think of one time. Drop it in the comments section below if you can think of a time that a player had a bad season. Minus Paul George, after their FIBA tournament. So I'm
I'll
pretty
tell
sure
you what.
all done good after that.
I'll tell you what. Looking at the Mr. Wemby, he's not looking good.
And okay, did you watch the game though? Did you just watch highlights?
I mean, there wasn't much to be highlighted.
Okay, so I saw a bunch of people going crazy about that. I don't think it's that big of a deal. It's not like he got bullied. He had 5 blocks.
Yeah.
How could you? I just don't get how people can say that he had a bad game. He had 5 fucking blocks.
Well,
Um,
they said that he wasn't like the momentum like shifter, the it factor, when he steps on the court, everybody's pissing on their leg.
yeah, but at the same time, he's not playing with the same stakes as a lot of those other people are playing with. A lot of those other people are playing for their spot on a roster.
Yeah.
While he's got his shit secured. He doesn't really have anything to prove until regular season.
Yeah. Well, that's fair. He's just got to worry about Britney Spears now. So
Yeah, that did you watch the video? I sent it to you, didn't I?
I did watch it. Awfully insane for her to go up to him. I mean,
The run up to him.
yeah, that was insane for him being like what, probably like a 19-year-old kid, 20-year-old kid, and
Yeah.
then she's a 50-year-old woman.
Yeah,
Who,
I would be concerned. I mean, did his bouncer need to hit her?
yeah, yeah, I wouldn't.
No, that wouldn't have been my first move, but
No,
I also get how, someone's charging at you, they could view it as.
yeah,
I ultimately think this is gonna end in absolutely nothing.
mm-hmm. I
Nothing's
think so too.
or anything, but just stupid. Brittany's always finding herself into some shit.
Yeah,
I haven't even heard the name in years.
I keep in the line because she's had some crazy shit going with her dad and her just her life has been hell. And I feel like she's finally got out of it. She's finally her own person. Um, but that's again, I don't know enough about it to even get into it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Um, before we even hit the NBA free agency, I want to ask you, what is the in-season play tournament or play-in tournament?
Probably the worst idea the NBA's ever came up with.
I just don't understand it. Like, what is this mid-season championship, this NBA Cup. What is this?
And basically, it's a big money grab. All these teams are going to be playing in a tournament that I doubt any of them want to play in. So they're going to do a tournament to where the winning team, like each of those players, get a certain amount of money. I don't know the exact values on it, but I'm really hoping that they're not going to eventually do this for like seeding because I just think that's bullshit. I think this is all just one big money grab. I think it'd be cool if they did like a losers bracket in the playoffs.
Yeah,
If they
I
want to
think,
do something like this rather than a midseason and get all your all-stars hurt come postseason.
but my thing is, they said it affects their regular season record. So are they just restructuring the regular season schedule around this tournament to where they're only going to play 60 games now, and then 20 of these games are going to be for this tournament?
Probably.
And then on top of that, is there any benefit for the winner of this tournament towards the NBA Finals? Like, who gives a fuck if you win the cup then? I don't get it.
Yeah, you just get an extra check. That's it.
Yeah, that's good for them. But what about the fans? What is this? Oh, my team won the mid-season tournament? Who gives a fuck?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't buy it. I don't fucking buy it. I would like
And I thought Adam Silver was doing so good too.
I would like it if they did this. The winner of this tournament got the number one overall pick next year. Because midway through the season, you still have a chance to fumble and be the worst team, or you fucking win it all and you go to the finals and you win the finals. Oh, but guess what? That team also won the midseason tournament and has the first overall pick, and they just won the NBA Finals. That's a crazy story. That'd be like saying the Warriors
Yeah.
in 2016 or 2015 after they won, they had the first overall pick in 2016. Unreal. Because now what?
You would see some pocketbooks opening from some general managers right now. That would be crazy.
Yeah,
It's
mark my
not a
words.
terrible idea though. It'll make it competitive at least. I just hit my microphone on accident.
This could also be that losers bracket you were talking about. Um, they reseed it, they play a losers bracket, and then the winner of that would probably get the first overall pick.
Mm-hmm.
And then the rest of the lottery that they have to do every year, the lottery is just the 2 through 15 or whatever.
I think the lottery's bullshit. I think they just need to do worst record, and I know they try to do it to avoid tanking, but in all honesty, you're never gonna avoid it.
Yeah.
You're never gonna avoid it.
I mean, you rarely see scenarios like the Orlando Magic in the 90s where they landed Penny and Shaq off of a stroke of luck.
Yeah.
One ping pong ball was in the thing and they pulled that one.
Mm-hmm.
Just stroke of luck. But that's why I do like how the NFL does it, where it is worst record to best. But then, yeah, you've got the Colts versus Texans again, where both teams are tanking for that worst spot. And then
Yeah,
the Bears end up getting
that's
it.
not. I get that that's not entertaining, but at the end of the day, like,
But a business is business, and the businesses have strategies.
yeah, but like a team like a smaller market team like Utah, they're at a point where they're either gonna suck really bad and have to fight for that number one overall pick.
Mm-hmm.
They're just gonna have to settle on getting the eighth pick every single year and try to build something out of that where they're just gonna be mediocre, mediocre, mediocre at best.
And I'll tell
Unless
you
they
what.
just hit a diamond in the rough.
I'll tell you what. Teams would be more motivated to go and win a chip. They win that NBA Cup. They get their first overall pick, so they know going into the playoffs. Hey, win or lose, we get the first pick. We're going to load up our roster next year. How many teams? I bet you not every team has ever gotten a first overall pick. I bet you I bet no, there's no way that every team has had it, right?
No, no, not every team's had it. It's um, who hasn't had the first overall pick before? I don't think Chicago has. No, that's an absolute lie. I'm an idiot. Derrick Rose. Um, who hasn't
Something
had
to look up.
the pick?
We'll have to look that up, but
Maybe Dallas?
hmm,
Maybe.
I don't know. We'll have to look more into that. But either way, it might just be a little more motivation. I just don't like if it's just for a check. Like I literally kept reading the thread on the tweet and I'm like, where is it going to explain what this is for? Like there was nothing. It just said, here's the seating, here's how it's structured, here's what it is, here's when the games are. And I'm like, okay, but for what? But
Yeah, I really want them to. I need to figure out what like exactly this is all about. Um,
well, while you do that, I'm gonna rattle off in the fastest way that I can the NBA free agency tracker, and then we'll go into some of the more important ones when I finish. Okay. Harden accepts player option but requests a trade. Dame requests trade specifically to Heat. Kobe White remains with the Bulls, $40 million. Gabe Vincent to Lakers. Cam Reddish to Lakers. Hachimura back to Lakers. Schroeder to the Raptors. Ingles to Orlando. Kyrie stays with Dallas. Seth Curry to Dallas. Derrick Rose to the Grizzlies. Desmond Bain to stay with the Grizzlies. Halliburton to stay with the Pacers. Bruce Brown to the Pacers, but I thought he was staying with the Nuggets. Cam Johnson gets his bag in Brooklyn. Cavs signing Struess and Cavs signing George Niang and Ty Jerome. Cavs keeping Levert, paying too much, 2 for 32. Middleton staying with Bucks. Draymond staying with the Warriors. Jeremy Grant to the Blazers. Kuzma,
Jerami.
this what
Jerami.
is it? Jeremy?
Jeremy.
Okay, I was gonna say what?
It killed me when you said Jerami. I'm like, who?
Sorry. Kuzma 102 million to stay with the Wizards. What? Dylan Brooks to the Rockets. Harden to the Clippers, most likely. Um, DeJounte Murray signs $120 million extension with the Hawks. Let's see. Zach LaVine on the trade block. Could Bull potentially be a Sun? Will a team get criticized badly if they sign Miles Bridges?
Which they did. The Hornets did.
They did. Oh
Yep.
yeah, they re-signed him.
hmm 1 year. They just accepted his qualifying offer.
Now, are you just saying that because of his off court stuff?
I thought you typed that one.
Mm-mm.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah, pretty much.
I heard that not Bull. Was it Bull? Somebody wanted him to go to the the Oklahoma City Thunder to be the Towers of Terror with Chet and the other tall guy.
Oh my God. Puko? Is that the
Yeah,
song? Yeah.
I think so. I'm excited to see Chet's rookie season this year.
Yeah, his Ben Simmons year.
Yep. Ben
I
Simmons, I
think
think
he's gonna be
Nerlens Noel
solid.
did it.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be solid. He's gonna have to learn. He's got to put on some more weight. Even though he does look like he put on some weight
Yeah.
in a good.
Um, One of the big things here that stood out to me was the Bruce Brown. I remember hearing that the Bruce Brown was going to stay. And then, I mean, I don't know if the Nuggets just couldn't match it or if this was just, the best offer or what, but Bruce Brown and the Pacers is going to be nice.
Yeah, I definitely think his plan at the time. I mean, shit, this is at the parade. This happened, and right after a
Right.
championship, that's the worst time to ask someone that question.
Yeah.
Of course, he's gonna want to say, "Yeah, I definitely want to stay. I'm gonna stay." and then he gets a team offering him $42 million compared to 20 over 2 years.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not just gonna leave $20 million on the table if you're Bruce Brown that made $6 million last year.
I was pumped for Gabe Vincent going to the Lakers.
Oh yeah.
That was huge.
They actually just showed a video, I saw it today, of Gabe Vincent, Torian Prince, and it was Cam Reddish seeing their lockers and their jerseys for the Lakers. It was pretty cool.
They have Torian Prince now.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah, Lakers did pretty good actually. They overpaid for Hachimura slightly, but I also found out a fun fact that if you add up the salaries for D'Lo and Hachimura's contracts together, guess what that number adds up to?
the Cavaliers. Salary cap? No, what?
Kyrie Irving's contract.
Oh, nice. So
So
we could send
that
both
could
of
be
them
their
to.
way. Yeah, that could be their way into getting into a Kyrie trade if it were to ever happen.
Hmm.
I don't know how much I believe that though, to be honest. I feel like LeBron would have been a lot more vocal about it.
Yeah, but maybe he's the problem.
I think he's been the problem, but
You remember that tweet he had? Maybe
yeah.
maybe I'm the problem. It sounds like Dame really wants to go to Miami and Miami only.
Yeah, only bad thing is he has no say.
Yep.
I think they'll try to find a third partner that will benefit Portland in this trade, even though kind of scammy. I think Miami's still gonna have to give up a decent amount. But I mean, shit, if you
Yeah.
have to give up Hero, um, and Duncan Robinson, and maybe whatever first round picks you got, I mean, I think they have a good enough roster. They have a good enough development system that they're gonna get some people on the bench. They still have Caleb Martin who played not so amazing in the finals, but better in the rest of the postseason.
Yeah.
Um, you're gonna have to get rid of Kyle Lowry, which I honestly kept forgetting he was on the Miami Heat.
Do they
Uh,
still have Oladipo?
huh?
Did they still have Oladipo?
Yes, and now he's back on the Thunder.
I mean, obviously he had to be injured, right, during the postseason.
Yes.
Because I'm looking at the roster and I was like, Oladipo still?
Oh yeah.
Kyle Lowry threw me off, but I was more shocked by Oladipo.
Yeah, I completely forgot about him too. You didn't hear about him getting mentioned whatsoever during the postseason.
No,
There's
because the story was Hemi buckets and their unsigned or their undrafted players.
yeah. Um, I want to hear you talk a little bit about the Cavs signings because I have a take on it as well.
I think that they overpaid for Struess. Um, I think that Niang's going to be good off the bench. Ty Jerome, interesting pick. I guess he grew up with
Donovan.
Donovan, so there's some chemistry there. But to be honest, I didn't even know who he was other than the fact that he was on the Warriors.
So he's actually a pretty solid player. He played in Miami. He grew up in that Miami system. So he's a solid player. Or I believe it was Miami. I know he played in Phoenix for sure. I'm almost unless I'm getting him mixed up with Tyler Johnson. But I know Ty Jerome used to play in Phoenix for sure. Um, but anyways, you know, I'm not really a fan of what they paid Struess, but I get why they did. Um, so part of the new CBA deal is now it is requiring teams, it's basically requiring them to stop being cheap. Let's make this shit competitive. open up your checkbook and you have to use at minimum 90% of your salary cap. It has to be 90%, where there were teams that would, San Antonio going into this offseason, they had over 60 million in salary cap available. Houston was over 100 million available. So it's to eliminate that, which is weird, but I guess it gives less options for free agents to leave the teams that they were drafted by.
Yeah.
But I think that's what's fun about the league. It sucks, but it's fun at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
I
also,
mean, I'm gonna be excited to see Struess light up some 3-pointers. Um, but just another addition to the ongoing revolving door roster.
yeah. Plus, we also have to remember that the salary cap increases 10 at minimum 10% every year. So by the end of the contract, will it still be a little hefty? Yes, but it's something that we can trade at least.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yeah,
the way I've always looked at it is when you sign the contract, do you think you could trade that contract? If you
that's
say
smart.
yes, that's a good contract. If
Yeah,
not, you did a terrible contract. It's the way I've always looked at it, at least.
makes sense.
Did you have anything to touch on free agency though? It was kind of a weird free agency.
Yeah, I mean, everything just looked like people were spending so much money on people. It was like I thought back in the day, only the superstars are getting 100 million, and then you got people like Kyle Kuzma getting over $100 million, and Dylan Brooks getting his bag after we all made jokes about him going to China.
Yeah, that I don't understand the 4 years, 80 million. I kind of think that made some people salty.
Yeah. But no, honestly, I'm just waiting to hear the Dame news so I can finally go to sleep. I haven't rested since.
I know. Of course, it was the day that it happened was the day that I hung up his jersey, which you guys can't see in the video portion, but you'll see it at some point.
Oh,
At some point.
I think
Well,
one of
shit. Instead of some point, I'll show you right now. My futon's a little messy right now. There it is.
the
One of my favorite players.
one of the last big things that we had to touch on is ESPN. What is going on? Something is going on at ESPN.
Um, so just Disney in general, it looks like a ton's going on. First of all, I want to thank them for getting rid of Jeff Van Gundy. I know that surprisingly some people were upset about it. They were like, "Oh, he's the only entertaining one." I'm like, "He's the only stupid one. There's a reason he's not coaching anymore. No one,
Mm-hmm.
no one likes him." And of course, it was Bill Simmons that was defending him, like, "Oh, he's a top three color commentator that has ever lived." And I'm like, "No, you never heard of Mike Breen before."
No.
Um, and maybe it's a little biased. He always hated on Cleveland for whatever reason. And it's not like he always made terrible takes because he always was at least ahead of the game. Like, oh, this is what they're gonna try to pull up. Um, but I'm excited. I hope Doc Rivers is the one that takes over for him because I know he wants to get back into TV for a little bit,
That'd be cool.
uh, and then maybe go to coaching here in a year or two. I know he wants to do like podcasting and TV, so that'd be cool. He'd be a lot cheaper too because he doesn't have as many years under his belt.
Yeah.
And then the one that surprised me was Jalen Jones or Jalen Rose. I'm really curious on what his wife thinks about that because she's on First Take, right?
Is she?
Yeah, Molly's his wife.
Oh, okay.
So I wonder wonder how she's taking that.
I don't
It's not
know,
like he's
but
gonna be out of a job forever because someone's gonna hire him.
yeah. Stephen A says he could be next.
Yeah, I doubt it, but
Well, I mean, there's just you wonder how much it has to do with Disney, how much it's just ESPN in total. Um, they just signed Pat McAfee. So, I mean, is ESPN on the downward, or is this just a clean house and trying to change the brand?
well, you know as well as I know, a lot of their movies have not been doing too well lately.
Nope.
Like Elemental, I think it made what was it, 20 million opening weekend.
It wasn't nothing pretty. And then obviously Indiana Jones flopped. Kathleen Kennedy's on her way out of Lucasfilm.
Yeah, I actually was told by a coworker that it wasn't one of the better ones, but it was better than the last one they had came out with. So,
Okay.
well, that's not hard to do.
I'm still waiting to see it on Disney Plus.
Yeah, I'm not paying for it.
No.
I'm sorry. I'm not paying for it at all.
Nope.
I'll pay my subscription for Disney Plus. Um, I'm trying to think. But yeah, they just had a ton of different flops. Even Thor Love and Thunder, they lost a ton of money on a ton. Um,
Yep.
and I know you loved that movie.
I liked it. I didn't love it. I was actually really disappointed yesterday because um my dad just watched Guardians Volume 3 for the first time, and I was all excited to hear how he liked it because I said it was honestly my favorite one, despite like number one being like, the original and better. And he was like, I hated it. They made it a rocket origin story. It should have been a Disney Plus show. And I was like, what? So like everybody is a critic. Everybody has their own opinions. The problem with these Disney movies is it's such a big market to people who like Disney that
It's almost too vast. Like you can't make everyone happy.
you can't make everybody happy. But the thing with like these Marvel movies, these Star Wars movies, these Indiana Jones movies, they have such a specific audience that was not Disney for so long that anytime, even in the slightest, that it sounds or looks a little off, oh, of course it's Disney. It's Disney's fault. Well, maybe you're just hiring the wrong people for it.
Right.
The thing with the Thor Love and Thunder is Taika Waititi did amazing with Ragnarok.
Yes.
And Thor, Chris Hemsworth was like, we got to do it again, like repeat it, funny, pull all the funny that we can. And he said his kids' friends were criticizing the movie, saying it was too funny. And he was like, I've got 8-year-olds criticizing my movie. But
That I think that one is by far one of the best.
Ragnarok?
Yes, I
No,
think
no,
I
no.
would say that's
His kids' friends were criticizing Love and Thunder.
oh.
So people were just saying that like Ragnarok was perfect. This was like too much funny.
Yeah, they tried making it like I finally watched it for the first time. It was actually right after the last time we recorded. Caitlin made me watch Coneheads. Have you ever watched that movie before?
Yep, with Dan Aykroyd.
Yeah, that's what it reminded me of a
Hmm.
little bit. Like just it was trying to be too funny. Grant
Yeah,
Coneheads was purposely trying to be funny and stupid.
yeah.
I just I didn't like it. I didn't like Love and Thunder. It just the whole thing just felt super rushed. I thought it had a ton of potential and it just, you know, it was kind of like, okay, here's the story, let's go.
Yep.
No build up. Okay, we got the villain.
It was right away.
Yeah. And apparently they had a lot more filmed too that they just ended up cutting out.
Hmm. They should have added a little more.
Oh yeah, no, I would not have minded if it was closer to a 3 hour movie, to be completely
Hmm.
honest. If it would have been, done perfect rather than just the everyone standards.
Yeah.
Sorry, like just keeps staring over at me, looking cute over here. But anyways, big things going on with Disney, and that's what led up to a lot of the ESPN firings. One last thing, we are on Threads now, actually, which is the new Twitter, and Twitter's gonna be extinct here soon.
You think?
Never truly extinct, but I think it's on its way out. Once they get DMs in Thread, yeah, they're over.
Hmm.
There's so many people already switching over right now. It just I
I have
don't
yet to do it.
I was honestly a fan when I heard Elon Musk was buying it. And I kid you not, I've been nothing but disappointed. I've been nothing but disappointed,
Yeah.
and I don't understand why.
He's not made it better.
He's just trying to make it a money grab. He hasn't made it any better. And now he's trying to limit how many posts a person can see a day.
I've noticed. I've actually noticed because I feel like I see a lot of the same posts throughout the day.
And it's a bunch of people you don't follow or things you care about.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And on top of that, what was one example? I forget what it was, but just the other day, I think I saw the same post 20 times, like almost in a row on my feed from different people posting about it. I, let me just see if I could think roughly what it was because I was actually getting mad. Like I'm like, why am I seeing this 100 times on my feed? Like there's nothing new on my feed. Oh, let's just see if I can find it real quick.
By the
Um,
way, Wemby played a lot better tonight.
did he?
27 points, 12 rebounds, and 3 blocks.
Oh, there you go. That's what people were expecting.
Hmm.
Mm, yeah, I can't find it, of course. But either way, I saw one post and it seemed like it was reposted 4 or 5 different times from 5 different people. And I'm like, why am I seeing this again? But
Oh my God, this is so weird.
Miles Naylor went to Oakland.
That's
That
so.
is weird. Well, we just
Taylor
missed out.
brother went to Oakland.
Yeah, we missed out on getting him.
Damn.
MT out here asking the real questions. If you lived in the MCU and you learned that your partner knowingly had a former relationship with a scroll and told you that they would shapeshift as different actual people in bed, would you feel like that was a major moral violation? Would you break up?
And
And
that's
me,
actually hilarious. I don't want to talk about the question, but Caitlin had sort of, in a way, a similar question in her summer work,
and her what? Summer work?
summer schoolwork.
Oh, really?
Hmm. We'll have to talk about it off air, but yeah.
Oh, Wemby shot a 3-pointer. Oh, and he airballed it.
Oh,
Somebody was like, darts.
darts.
I'm gonna send it to you on Twitter. On threads.
Do you have threads?
No.
No. It's a lot better than Twitter, honestly. But
I'm
other than that, Dylan, do you have anything else you want to say?
No, as always, I can't wait for football season because it's been a dry gambling summer. Gamble responsibly. Call me a hunter gambler if you've got an issue.
Love you guys. Peace.